Welcome in, folks. Village Legends Podcast, Episode 2. We are back. I'm your man, Sess. My boy, C-Flash5 in the building next to me.
Yo.
What up? We back, Episode 2. We're going to bring you all around the sports world once again. We're going to stop in March Madness. We're going to take a trip to MLB. We're going to talk some football. We're going to talk some college wrestling championships. We're going to talk Mets baseball as we do every episode. You know that's what we do. So let's get right to it. I'm bring my boy C in. See what you got for us. Lead us off. Let's get going.
What's up, good people? Here we go. Part 2. First of all, let's everybody, if you can, just give a 10 count rest in peace to the great George Foreman. George Foreman was a great dude, and if anyone has ever seen his documentary or anything about or know anything about the great George, he was the last remaining of the 4 kings of the great heavyweights, and definitely all around Hall of Famer. So
here we go. Let's give it a quick 10 bell salute for our man George, and we get into it. Rest in peace, Big George. What were you saying? He was making how much a month?
Well, before I get into that, Sess, before we get into his money, let's all start from the beginning with George. Everybody knows that George Foreman was an Olympic gold medalist back in the 60s, represented our country, went pro, defeated another great heavyweight, Smoking Joe Frazier. And George Foreman was looked at as just a straight beast. People feared him in the 70s, and anybody knows from old school to new school, George Foreman was the truth. After he lost to Muhammad Ali, he's talked about it in his documentary that it changed him. He felt darkness. But George, like anyone else, has felt his ups and downs, and ended up finding God. Became a pastor, a preacher down in Texas, because that's where he's from. He came from poverty. That was his motivation and his drive to be great. He stopped boxing for a while and came back in the 90s and his 40s to be exact. And everyone kept telling him it couldn't be done. But George came back and ended up to capture the heavyweight title once again.
Age 45.
Yes. So
who did he beat? Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, the gifted, talented lefty with a bald head. But George hit him with that 1-2. That was the end of Michael Moore.
George had an awesome 1-2, boy.
Heavy-handed brother. So I just want to say that George also, not only did you blessed us with your presence in the sports world, and also as a pastor, but you gave us the Foreman Grill, where George made lots of money off the Foreman Grill. I had me one. I know a lot of people had. I know Sess, you had one,
no doubt.
And to this day, he's making grossing. Last time I checked, $8 million a month.
Oh,
so
there it is.
I believe he had sold it, but this is what his royalties are. So George left his family well off, and moved on to go back home to the Lord. But at the end of the day, George, you will be missed, and we appreciate you again, Big George, because you are a sight that we will never forget. You were a mountain, and you punished boxers. So again, rest in peace to you, Big George.
Rest in peace, George. 76-5 career record. 76-5. That is no joke. I'll take that any day of the week. 68 knockouts, by the way. Big George.
Impressive.
Yep.
Oh, real quick, Sess. It's funny that, well, not funny, but I just want to touch on that real quick. George is definitely in the top 10 great heavyweight fighters of all time.
We about to do a top 10 list?
Yeah. So
let's go.
We gotta pull out the bonus, the bonus top 10.
Yes, sir.
Of our podcast. This is what we call the bonus moment. So we're gonna talk about our top 10 real fast. I could probably go off. I'll probably just give the top 5.
Well, I know we're going to have probably the top 10 is going to be the same. So we know Foreman's in there. Okay. Ali is in there.
Okay.
We know Mike Tyson's in there.
Mike Tyson's definitely in
Who
there.
Else? Woo! Joe Frazier? Frazier top 10 all time? Smoking Joe?
We got to add Evander Holyfield.
Ooh, okay.
To those, like I said, again, new school, old school. Old school, young school, and in that order, we gotta include the real deal Evander Holyfield, which was my man Sess's greatest fight at one time.
I loved him. He got me so hyped. One time I went to fight after one of his fights.
Yes.
That was my boy. Shout out to Holyfield. Quick aside, his son just signed with the WWE. Evander Holyfield signed. I think his name is Elijah Holyfield.
Yes, that is. And he was a former college football player from Georgia.
Nice. So we know he's on there. How about Riddick Bowe? You throwing Riddick Bowe on there?
No, I can't throw Riddick in the in the top 10. It's tough.
Let's put him on the side.
We have to add Rocky Marciano because Rocky Marciano retired undefeated at 49-0.
Get him in there.
A lot of people still debate that. I was one in the past that debated that because I felt that Rocky didn't fight too many people that were a challenge. They were on their way out. They were washed up, I'll say. And I received some backlash on Facebook years ago about that. But at the end of the day, this is on a podcast like that we're doing right now for the Village Legends. We speak our mind. We don't care how you feel. Hey, it's just all part of it. We speak about sports, but we're not going to hold no punches. We're going to talk about how we feel. So Marciano, I got to put you in there because you did retire undefeated and you fought guys that were also future Hall of Fame or that are our Hall of Famers. Sorry. So I give you your props, Rocky.
Lennox Lewis?
Lennox Lewis is definitely
we're
going to top 10. Lennox Lewis was definitely a mountain of a man to try to knock out. There were times that his chin was suspect, but Lennox still was a good fighter.
He was. I got the list here. What about Larry Holmes?
Larry Holmes,
similar to Riddick Bowe, I would say.
He was going to top 10.
Yeah.
How many is that right now, sir?
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we add Holmes, that's 7.
You could add Larry Holmes. Right. Again, Larry Holmes goes in the boat with Rocky Marciano because Larry didn't really fight these talented fighters. Larry fought who was next up that he had to defend his title against.
Right.
So therefore, in my opinion, I can't say that Larry's the greatest heavyweight, but you can put him in the top 10.
The top 10.
Yeah.
There's a few good ones here. Let's see. What about Joe Louis?
Bam.
Gotta go hit. You
gotta the Brown Bomber. You gotta throw Joe Louis in there. Joe Louis was an unbelievable fighter. And not only did Joe Louis fight, he fought for different reasons, but as far as boxing, Joe Louis represented a good boxer. He also was a war veteran as well. Joe also enlisted in the war and actually drafted, I'll say. He defended his country and had to come back and also defend his title. That was a real classy man. It's unfortunate how he died. When he passed away, he literally passed away broke. And that's the sad part of what I talked about in our segment, our very first show of how boxing could be so corrupt.
Yeah.
You cannot rob these fighters who are here to entertain us. We have to support them, and they should never be broke. Never.
Joe Louis held that title for 12 years. The heavyweight title.
Still, it's
amazing.
Still, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's still a record.
It's got to be. It was through the war, but still. Let's see, a couple more here. Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson is the first African-American heavyweight champion of the world. Way back when. Jack Johnson was a good one. I don't know if I'd put him in the top 10.
1908. Wow. Joe Frazier.
Smoking Joe was a good one. He's also one of the,
put him in.
What do we call them? Can't say the Great Four. What do we call them? What do we call them in boxing? Well, anyway, I'm not gonna sit here and dig on that. But Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali. Who was the other one?
We got 9. We need one more for a top 10. We got Jack Johnson is on the side with Riddick Bowe. And what about Sonny Liston?
I can't say Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was short-lived.
Jack Dempsey.
Jack Dempsey is also, if we don't add Jack Dempsey, then a lot of people from the old school will be offended. So we have to add Jack Dempsey.
So there's our top 10. In no particular order now, folks. In no particular order. Jack Dempsey, George Foreman, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Rocky Marciano, Lennox Lewis, Larry Holmes, and Smoking Joe Frazier. Not bad. Not bad at all, my brother.
Yes.
Shout out to George once again.
Well, Seth, you take over this one.
You got it, my brother. Let me see what we got here. Major League Baseball opening day is coming up, end of the month. We're about, actually, end of this week, I think the 27th. But there is that special series that gets played every year in Japan. That's the official opening series of Major League Baseball. And this year, once again, the Dodgers started off just as they finished last season with winning, because they're now 2-0, fresh off 2 victories over the Cubs in Japan. And wouldn't you know it, the hometown boy, Shohei Ohtani, he gave him a show. He went deep. You had to see, I don't know if you saw the replay, but the crowd went nuts when he hit that ball, boy. He is a god to them. And, rightfully so, he is amazing. So Dodgers off to their old tricks, 2-0. Japan series, always cool. I remember back in the 90s, the Mets started out there one year against the Cubs in like 97 or 96. I actually stayed up or woke up early, like 3 a.m. to watch the first ever game. I don't remember what the outcome was now, but many years ago. By the way, in that opening series, Major League Baseball debuted a new replay system. An AI-enhanced replay. Did you have a chance to look at that?
No, I have not.
Dude, it looks like a video game.
But the AI is not shocking me, Seth. At the end of the day, the AI is like robotic, but it's robots with a face, with a human face.
Well, this is actually the player, but they made the background like AI. So it's almost like he had a camera right behind him. Dansby Swanson at short. He dives up the middle. It looks like there's a drone camera right behind him.
Okay.
And the field itself is AI. It looks like I don't know, like a robotic, like you said, like a grid of some sort. And he's making this play in this AI reality, and he's throwing it to first. And I'm like, man, how long before they're trying to sell us this reality-based sports, and all this shit it looks fake on TV. I don't know what the hell we're going to get to, but AI is coming, folks. Be ready, because it's coming.
Yeah. I'm not shocked by the future at all. With all the things and all the tools that are coming our way, this is something, folks, that we've never seen before in our lives, and I think we need to enjoy it. It's a great thing. It's remarkable. It's just remarkable.
It is. It could be used for wrong too, and for bad and for evil. But let's hope not.
Let's see. This is the beginning of Buster Posey's time as an executive in baseball. The one time, I wouldn't say once, but the 3-time World Series champion, also an MVP. Buster is now moved into the upper office. I believe, as the GM or the president of operations. Do we? Let me see here.
Amazing. That makes me feel old because I feel like he was playing last year, but I think I'm wrong on that. But that's amazing.
I'll tell
Good
you
for
what,
him.
I'll never forget the time that I forgot the baseball player. We got to look that up. But he slid into Buster at home plate, and Buster's knee went backwards. I thought his knee was off his body. His leg was off his body. And that was from that day. That's when they implemented the Buster Posey rule for catchers. Because Buster was lost for the season after that collision.
Buster ain't playing. He bought a stake in the team. That's how involved he's going to be.
Oh wow! So Buster has ownership with the Giants.
Yep, he has a stake in the team.
Okay. Well, forgive me and I stand corrected.
Incredible. You know, it's weird. I don't know if he's even retired.
No, Buster. Well. He would have to be officially retired. It's just like a Tom Brady deal. Don't mean to switch sport topics, but it's the same thing. You know, you if you're going to have any ownership, you can't play.
Amazing, brother.
Yeah, you know what? I stand corrected again. Michael Jordan, I believe, had stake in the Washington Wizards
when he was playing. Yeah,
that's why he went there and he played. You know, as well, towards the end of his career. So it's a possibility. But to my knowledge, Buster is retired.
He's got to be, right?
Because he had a press conference when he retired.
Okay, yeah.
So, you know,
good
again,
for him.
You know, but Buster, hey, you know, you had a great career. It was great senior, but you know, you didn't play for the Mets. we Mets fans over here.
You know it.
So let's talk about our Mets.
Let's do it. Mets time. Mets minute, folks. Mets minute. Let's go.
I want to say pretty much real quick. You know, we always scratch our heads because opening day is coming up. I believe it's this week coming up. When's opening day?
27th.
The 27th. Okay, so that's this week coming up. As it stands right now, to all my Mets fans, fellow Mets fans, I consider you family. Bottom line, we consider you family. My brother Seth and I are diehard Mets fans. We've been Mets fans since we was young kids. So
a lot of our special guests are Met fans.
We always talk about the latest news and anything else that comes to mind. And we also was talking about the starting five. To my knowledge, again, Clay Holmes is our opening day starter, folks.
Wow. That's crazy. 2 weeks ago, I was questioning if he really was a starter. And now he's going to be starting opening day. It's crazy.
If I'm not mistaken.
You're correct. That is the case.
Okay. Yep. And then we have Kodai Senga, David Peterson, Paul Blackburn. And in the fifth slot, it's either Tylor, McGill, and Canning.
Yeah, Griffin Canning. I think those three guys will be competing for the last two spots. Okay. You know, with probably, you know, like you said, McGill looks like he might make it this year. And Canning's had a great spring. I don't know how they would sit him at this point after the spring he had. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Will that be enough for our boys?
Well, pitching is everything.
Sounds weak. Sounds weak when you hear it out loud.
Defense wins championships. So we have to, you know, face reality on that. That's never going away. You know, I've said that as far as I played sports or know sports or talked about sports. Defense wins championships. Offense will get you over the curve, but you need to play defense, especially in baseball, basketball, and football. Defense means a lot. And when you have good pitchers, that can go far ways. It's crazy because I know that he's injured, but we also have to talk about our pitcher that we signed, Seth, that played for us last year. What's his name?
Who's that? A pitcher?
Yeah, the pitcher. I believe we gave him an extension of 3 years. He was in our starting rotation last year. We definitely need to know that.
Oh, Sean Mania, the lefty.
Sean
Yes, sir.
Mania.
Yep.
Mania,
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Okay, so he's a
good pitcher. He'll take one of those spots from one of these guys because I can't see Blackburn, McGill, Canning combination lasting, and not giving that spot up to
Mania.
Mania.
He's just been signed on an extension. And I'm looking to see if our closer, Edwin Diaz, goes back to form. It was a struggle for him last year, but Edwin showed glimpses of his greatness.
He did.
And I still respect Edwin, and I still have confidence in him. I just want to see a different Edwin this year.
Staying in New York, but switching sports a little bit. We also happen to be New York Giant football fans, folks. So we're going to talk a lot of Mets baseball, a lot of Giants football. The Giants made an interesting move, one which I like myself. I know a couple of our Village brethren like the move as well. See, I haven't heard your opinion yet, so I'd love to hear it. But Jameis Winston, maybe the best backup in football, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And universally known as a great guy, has signed with the Giants. And I think that's awesome.
Former Heisman Trophy winner at Florida State, and former national champion football, the national college football champion.
Yeah.
Got drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Spent some time with them, and then has been with several teams.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really turn out to be what they thought he'd be, right? I mean, he was was he the number one pick that year?
I believe Jameis was the number one pick,
and so
coming out of college.
A lot of hype, and he never really developed into that player, but he has become a solid NFL backup that can fill the shoes for a few weeks. And if he's got a good enough team around him, maybe take him even further. So it looks good. Now, here's the magic question, see? Mm-hmm. Now that we got Jameis, which we both agree is probably to groom the next Giant quarterback, who we picking up? Who we drafting? Who's going to be the next Giants quarterback? Is it Sanders?
Well,
who's it going to be?
The top two would be Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders.
The Giants have what, the number 3 pick?
We have the number 3 pick.
So one of them should probably be there at number 3.
I think what it comes down to is long term. We're talking about professionalism. We're talking about maturity. We're talking about someone who knows that an organization has drafted you, and that you're going to be the face, but you have to go out there and perform. And you have to, carry or at times take your team and represent your organization in a professional way, but not bash your team, not bash your organization, and not worry about getting paid. You're gonna get paid. So, I mean, if it sounds like I'm bitter, I don't mean it. I don't want to sound bitter.
We're Giants fans.
Good people, again, good people. I don't want to sound bitter. But there have been, in my time now, this is the highest and this is the most craziest stat of all of quarterbacks getting paid. These quarterbacks are seeing stupid money.
Yeah.
Once again, I say it again, stupid money. And if we're gonna give you that type of money, like we gave Daniel Jones, and we wish Daniel Jones well, we wish him well in his career. We don't hate Daniel Jones. Good people, I don't want you to think that we wish ill will or anyone.
True, we don't hate.
But that money that we gave Daniel, that should not have happened. Again, we're keeping it real. He should not have gotten that money.
Damn.
That type of money should have, that was enough money to save Saquon from going down I-95, and that crushed us. Long term, Shedeur. We know that your dad is Deion, so we know that you've already been schooled. You've already know what it is coming into the NFL, how to be a professional, how to conduct yourself, and I believe that you actually do have what it takes to lead the Giants. You also had a former New York Giant head coach. That was your offensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur.
Oh, wow.
So, you're pro ready. talent-wise, Cam Ward is the guy.
Really?
Yeah, I like Cam Ward. I like Cam. Cam is there's something about him that just, has me feeling something entirely different.
Nice. I'll take either one, to be honest. It's besides the guy at the top, Patrick Mahomes, it's a young quarterbacks league for the most part right now. I mean, there's young stud quarterbacks everywhere, and they're making the playoffs every year. From Lamar Jackson to present, there's a lot of youth in there. So, not that he's one of the younger ones, but he's on that end cusp of the young talent, all the way up to guys like Daniels and, what's the kid's name on the Texans? C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud is one of those, you can't duplicate or repeat, or you could only hope to find talent like C.J. Stroud. These are young kids that are coming up, folks, that have been in these camps. Mm-hmm. They've been playing Pop Warner. They're consistently playing football all year round. And when you have that type of talent, you have to really, really, really pay homage and hope that your next NFL quarterback is like that.
Yeah, no doubt. So coming back full circle, Jameis Winston, great signing. Hopefully that points in the right direction for the G-men. I mean, realistically, how many wins can we expect out of this team? Maybe 6 this year, 6 to 8. I don't think we can get to 8. We'll see.
Well, Seth, real quick, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
It all starts with offensive line.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing, you have Andrew Thomas, who's a stud when he's healthy. You got John Runyon. You got John Michael Smith Jr. You got Greg Van Roten. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be funny with your last name. And I know you're not rotten. And you got Evan Neal. Evan Neal has robbed the New York Giants. Let's call what it is, folks. Giant fans, Big Blue Nation, stand up. Evan Neal has robbed us. He has not been healthy. And then when he is healthy, he still can't produce. He's a product of an Alabama Crimson Tide. Nick Saban will probably want to smack him and say, son, get your out of your, you know what. So, I mean, our quarterback will only be as good as our offensive line. Can we agree?
Absolutely, my brother. I mean, you're seeing greener pastures than me. We were 28th. Our offensive line was ranked 28th last year. So it wasn't just Neal who was struggling out there.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see, but we'll see. So that's what I'm thinking, 6 to 8 wins for our G-men. And listen, to bounce topics again, it's March, right?
Yes, it is.
And what's one of the best sporting events in all of March? That's March Madness.
Yes, sir.
AA. And see, I know you got a lot to say about March Madness, so take it away, my brother.
There was been a lot of chatter and talk about that, how disrespected South Carolina should be because they weren't the number 1 seed overall in the women's tournament. And I just want to say that at the end of the day, life is not fair. Life is not fair. People, I mean, we can sit here and cry and moan and bitch and all that, and just say all types of negative things, but that's all it is. You're blowing smoke.
Yep.
You're blowing smoke. Okay. Has South Carolina, have they pretty much proved themselves? Yes, they have. Dawn Staley is a hell of a coach. No one's is not taking anything away from her. But let's be clear, we're only in the present year. Each year is different. People are going by what they see. You're not going to get in because of your resume. Let's be clear, in all sports, you're not going to get into any tournament or any type of playoffs because of your resume. Mm-hmm. It's what you did in that current present year. So for those who want to sit there and blow smoke and cry and bitch and moan and say, oh, well, this is fraud or this is politics. No, it's not. Get over it. It happened. And you know what? The best thing that South Carolina can do is go out there and win again. Win another national championship. Mm-hmm. So it shuts everybody down. There are people in Baseball Hall of Fame that are voters in the Baseball Hall of Fame that me and my brother Seth talk about all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There are baseball players who have been left out of the Hall of Fame because of the voters that are there.
We could do a whole episode.
We could have a whole episode
Matter of fact,
on our podcast about that.
We might.
Yes, we will. So again, for those who feel some type of way with South Carolina, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but enjoy the entertainment, because this is all it is. Sports is entertainment. You know, you rep your, you as a fan, my good people, if you're a fan of a team, rep your jersey. Go out there and rep your team. Don't sit there and cry because you didn't get a seed that you think your team should have got. Okay, is it a topic of discussion? Sure it is. But ain't nothing going to change. They've already made it happen. You move on. Move on.
Show and prove. That's it. Get out there, show and prove.
Those who and I feel your pain. Those who have a bracket, who filled out a bracket, but those who are veterans at filling out brackets, you already know that you cannot put all your money in or put all your picks in on a number one seed. Number one seeds are notoriously known to be knocked out of a tournament. So we have to be clear about that at all points. As it stands right now, we have the Auburn Tigers who are going to be facing the Michigan Wolverines, my boys. Go Blue.
That's once in episode 2, folks.
And they're advancing to the Sweet 16. We got Ole Miss and Iowa State playing, I believe, today at 7:45. You got New Mexico, Rick Pitino's son, Richard Pitino, head coach of New Mexico, going against one of the all-time greats, Tom Izzo, Michigan State. Some might call him the great Tom Izzo because of his coaching style. He's a phenomenal basketball coach. Florida has dethroned the UConn Huskies, 2-time national champions of the NCAA men's college basketball.
And of course, I had UConn going deep. That's my boys.
And that is he's not lying, my good people. He's not lying. I got to mess with him.
Mm-hmm. Donyell Marshall.
Oh, taking it back. Even Ray Allen. Let's take it back. Colorado State versus Maryland, number 4 Maryland, on TBS at 7:10. Drake and Texas Tech, I believe that was yesterday.
Texas Tech won
that one. Those who have your bracket, you guys pretty much already know what it is. After watching the Florida and UConn game, I gotta be honest, my good people, Florida is the real deal. But because I'm a Michigan fan, I'm a little biased. I gotta see Michigan play Auburn on Friday. And if the Wolverines beat Auburn, then I have to say that this bracket, these picks are wide open. Gonzaga lost to Houston. Houston is just always phenomenal every year. So I'm not going to disrespect Houston.
They're always in the 20, right? They're always doing that.
They have a hell of a coach in Sampson. And then you got Illinois that's playing right now. Only 9 minutes and 31 seconds left in the second half versus Kentucky. Kentucky is up 70, and Illinois is 54. For some, that might seem like an ass whooping, but no, it's not. That's another thing I want to talk about. Make no mistake about it. In basketball, period, if you're up by 14 points or 17 points, that's nothing in college basketball. They can come back in an instant. I've watched it for numerous years. It's incredible when you're down by 20 and you come back to win the game. So make no mistake about it, people. Make no mistake about it.
Wide open field. And as always, I say, fuck Duke.
The Dukies.
Oh, shit. What else we got to see?
Being that we were on basketball, I want to go to the NBA,
Sure.
and I want to talk about something that is, true to life. Because this guy is, without a doubt, has the respect of a lot of coaches and former players. Mr. Greg Popovich. We pray, prayers go out to you and with your health and your comeback.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, Greg had suffered a stroke. And we're hoping that, all is well with him and his health and on his comeback trail. So I seen a documentary about Greg Popovich, and he approached his players, and it was not one dry eye in the locker room.
Awesome dude.
They, with a stroke, for those who don't know, sometimes you could suffer more than just the brain hemorrhage. It could be some type of being paralyzed with the facial or with limbs, and it's hard to actually get that back to 100% in your lifetime. That is a 5-time NBA champion. He's a future, I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. If not, he's going.
He will be. Yep.
And now everyone is talking about pretty much, is he going to come back to coaching? And then you have some analysts that are speaking. And Assess, I want to ask you what you think. Do you think he should leave on his own terms?
Oh, absolutely. He's earned that. For all intents and purposes, and for all the, like you said, for all the word out there on him, he's one of the best dudes in the league. And, he's not shy about telling you how he feels about things in politics, things around the world. And, he's a great guy. So he's earned it. He's a world champ many times over, 5 times over. He could write his own story on the way out for sure. Definitely, brother.
I sincerely agree with you 100%. Because he is a Hall of Famer and everything he's done for the city of San Antonio and everything. Greg Popovich, you are a Hall of Fame class act gentleman in my book. I just believe that you should just play a part in grooming the next head coach.
Nice.
At the end of the day, again, we wish you well. It is your choice. I would not kick you out. But I still believe that you guys need to groom the next head coach and, definitely have you in the front office, hopefully the organization will, listen to what you have to say, because you've earned that. So, again, we wish you well and, good luck. Normally I don't like to cut things short that we have with the producers and what we sign up for, but
some things are important though. Some things
I'm gonna go to it anyway, real quick, real fast.
Do it, brother. While you look for that, shout out to the Knicks playing good basketball without Jalen Brunson right now, number 3 seed in the East. So let's see what happens. Good things ahead, hopefully, especially when he gets back.
Yes. Shout out to that's hard. I don't know, Sess. That's a hard one. Yo, I might need a shout out for that, man. To say shout out to the Knicks. But you know what? Because you my brother, man.
Let's go.
You've been a loyal Knicks fan, so I'm gonna stand by. And I got family members. Listen, yo, Knicks fans, stand up. This might be our year, but how many times have we heard that, guys? This is your year. This is your year. Listen, we keep hearing about 72. But Knicks fans,
where's Reed at?
Never give up hope. I respect the Knicks fan base, and I respect the Knicks players. What you have now, excuse me, you guys have some real talented players. My personal opinion, and I have to be honest, I don't know if you guys are going to win a championship this year, but
it'd be tough.
At least if you can knock out the Celtics, I'm all for it. Because you know what? The Celtics is another historic basketball franchise. And at the end of the day, they got theirs. Now it's time for New York to come back and shine.
Yes, sir. As it stands right now, if the season ended today, I believe we would play the Pistons. So that would be a tough go to get past them. But I think we could. I think we could beat the Pistons. And then we'll see if the Celtics will be in the promised land ahead of that. So definitely NBA, typical NBA.
Yes.
You know, Celtics at the top. Cavaliers, of course, just have been solid all year, coming off a short losing streak, but they're back. The Thunder and the Rockets in the West with your Lakers in the 4th spot.
Wait a second. My good people. Correction. The Lakers is not my team. I think I need to give everybody a bio of, C Flash real quick. And I'm going to come off and let y'all know. I've been a diehard Chicago Bulls fan since...
Go ahead. You can say it.
I guess since I was like 11. All right. I'll say 12.
Since Jordan. That's
what
it is.
But a lot of there was always some type of, debate about that, or, well, you've only been a Jordan fan. No. I've always been a Scottie Pippen fan. I've always liked Horace Grant. I've always liked B.J. Armstrong. I'm one of those guys that can tell you a roster, the starting 5. I can tell you all of that. Because that's the type of fan I am. It wasn't just Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, I want to be clear, everyone. Good people, let's tune in. Put your ears to the speaker again. Michael Jordan would not be great without Scottie Pippen.
Oh, you're crazy.
Phil Jackson as well. Phil Jackson or Scottie Pippen. Bottom line, I don't care what anyone says. And Michael will say it himself.
Okay.
He would not have won a championship without Scottie Pippen.
Well, maybe so. Maybe that's the case. But let me remind you, Michael was great with Doug Collins as his coach. Michael was great before Scottie got there. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player in history.
Of all time. Sometimes it's funny that you say that too, Seth. There are people that try to send me some type of clip about John Starks in the dunk.
Oh, yeah.
I said, well, John Starks had his shine. But let's be clear, Michael Jordan was barely in that dunk.
Yeah.
But when you see Michael Jordan, Michael's dunking on 3 or 4 Knicks players.
He used to dunk on my Knicks all the time. Dunked over Pat, my boy Pat, a couple times.
And hold up, my good people. Hold up. Let's get back to this. How about Scottie Pippen dunking on Patrick Ewing and pushing Patrick to the floor?
Disrespectful. Second most disrespectful dunk I've ever seen. Second most. Number 1, when Shaq dunked on, again, my boy on the Knicks. Remember, what was his name? Chris Dudley.
Yo,
it looked like he humped him on the tomahawk.
And Chris Dudley looked like he looked like such a deflated basketball player. He's going to throw the basketball at Shaq while Shaq is all the way down by the other net.
That was hilarious.
Real quick, as we know, NBA fans, because Seth is a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. But I just want to say this and be clear. The playoffs are approaching. Pretty much the whole month of April.
Such a long play.
That's when the playoffs happen. At the end of April, anybody that's an NBA basketball fan, you know that the playoffs start at the end of April. For the Laker fans, hey, they're looking strong. And then there's times where they just look like, all right, LeBron, I'm going to come out and say, LeBron, they need to get off your son. Your son is on his way to do good things. And I agree with, I understand and respect that you as a father, you're willing to step to anybody, but your son is a man now, LeBron. He made that decision once he entered into the NBA. Once he went to college, he became a man. But I really don't see any bad flaws in Bronny. Bronny is showing that he has greatness in him eventually. But he's still young. But I want to say this though. You guys being dominated by the Bulls, 146 to 115.
Damn.
The Bulls had 81 points, 81 second half points. So that's crazy. And then when I looked at the highlights, you got Luka, you got all these good players on the Lakers. LeBron, stop showing your age, brother. You know what I'm saying? Stop just rolling the ball or passing the ball and doing turnovers. You know, you forget, LeBron, where you actually play and who you play for. And that's what makes a lot of Laker fans upset with you, because you are representing the Lakers, the Showtime Lakers. You know, they're not trying to hear, oh, I'm a human being. You know, sometimes I have an off night. No, LeBron, you've made a lot of money, lots of money in your NBA career and endorsements. The list goes on. You just turn the ball over like that, LeBron, can't happen.
Yeah.
You
the
got
Bulls are not even,
that.
as of today, the Bulls are not in the playoffs, so that can't happen.
Hell no. To know again, 146 to 115. King James. Really?
Now, if it ended today, they would have the Grizzlies in the first round. How do you feel about the Lakers? They get through the Grizzlies? They get through them?
Gambling wise, I say yes.
Okay. We'll take it. We'll take that answer. Nice.
You know, John Morant has been through some up and downs. He still has a lot of maturity he has to do himself. I think John Morant is unbelievable, but he can't do it by himself. Let's be clear. But today, if they're playing the Lakers tomorrow for the playoffs, the Lakers will beat them.
Yeah.
5-game series, 7-game series, don't matter. The Lakers will beat them.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Knicks would get the Pistons right now. Celtics would get the Hawks if it ended today. Nuggets, Warriors, Thunder, Timberwolves. It's a nice little playoff tree for sure. Definitely, brother.
We gotta go to the UFC. Those who know Edwards, hold on, I'm sorry.
Leon Edwards,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
Sir.
That was definitely wrong of me to call him just Edwards. You know what it is that Leon Edwards got his ass whooped so bad. But
headline said he got smoked. I saw that headline.
There was so much potential for Leon Edwards that the way he got destroyed in that match this past weekend, I guess that's why I said Edwards. But I can't do what they do, so I'm not going to sit there and judge. I wish Leon Edwards the best. He went out like a lion, and again, Sean Brady really took it to him. Sean Brady came with the heart of a lion. He came with hunger. And, at one time, Leon Edwards, you came with the same drive, and you wanted to prove everybody wrong. You beat Usman, and you shocked the world on that.
He did shock the world, yep.
But
definitely did.
When it just is another example of, if you show that you don't come prepared. And that's one thing I could say about the great ones, whether it's UFC, MMA, boxing. The great ones train even when their opponent is sleeping. And Leon Edwards, I wish you well in your career. You're now 22-5. Sean Brady came with more hunger. He also came with a whole lot of tattoos, and he came with a vengeance. This young guy was not playing. He made you submit. Literally made you submit.
Yeah.
And wish you well again in your career. I'm sure you could bounce back from this, and let everybody know that this was an off night.
Yeah. Last thing from me, which we had a historic event take place in the NCAA. the NCAA Men's Heavyweight Wrestling Championship took place this week.
Okay.
And it was a shocker. Gable Steveson, the two-time NCAA champ. He's been on WWE television. He went out there against I'm sure he's from the Midwest, Wyatt Hendrickson, big boy Wyatt Hendrickson, and Wyatt beat Gable Steveson. He knocked him off the throne in front of about 13,000 people, I think, were in attendance, and it was amazing.
Round of applause.
Yep.
Round of applause to both those gentlemen.
Yep, it was an epic battle. Great, a lot of the president was there. Elon Musk, his boy, was there in attendance, and it was a great event. And shout out to Wyatt Hendrickson for his victory over Gable Steveson, knocking him off the throne. And that might be it for Gable Steveson. I don't know if he's even going to make it in wrestling at this point, so we'll see what ends up happening with him. But shout out to Wyatt Hendrickson. And that's all I got for today, my brother. I appreciate it. Big C, take us out.
So normally, we go to through the trials and tribulations of life, but I'll say this: sports. For me, it's always been sports, music, and a lot more. So I hope that everyone has a great week and get ready for our next podcast for the Village Legends, because you know what? We don't shut down.
We coming.
We don't close down.
Nope.
But we're going to be here and talk to all of you good people.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish you well, and everyone be safe. God bless you, and we'll see you next week. Peace.